Kicking off the new year with our 2021 camera bag essentials. Camera bags? This is everything we bring to every single shoot. Let's check it out. We're always on the go between site to site and shoot to shoot, and we want to have all of our gear ready to go as quickly as possible. We've broken all of our gear down into different categories, including camera and accessories, audio and recording gear, as well as lighting. But today we're going to talk about the camera essentials. So first, let's start off with the bags. So we started with one of these bad boys, the Lowpro 450 AW. As you can see, it's a little beat up, so that was our first bag, and then we grew out of it pretty quickly. So we got a second one to match because we love the bag so much, and it's actually a pretty good bang for your buck, very protective, and fits a decent amount of gear. So we'll start off with this bag, which is our actual camera bag. It carries our cameras, our lenses, our filters, and a couple accessories. Let's dive in, let's see what's inside. First, let's start off with the camera bodies. So we got the Blackmagic 6K, which we're actually filming on right now. We love it so much, we actually have another one on order, and these are fantastic bang for your buck cameras and entry-level cinema cameras. Next, diving into the other cameras we have. So we have the Canon 5D Mark IV, which is actually in repair right now. It's been with Canon for about 3 weeks now, but we're getting it back soon. And then we have a backup Canon 6D Mark I in case we ever need it, but we don't really use it. Since we do both video and photos, we primarily use the Blackmagic for video, obviously, and then the 5D Mark IV for photos for our real estate clients, our automotive clients, restaurants, etc. Now let's dive into lenses. So first we have the 1635, which we're filming on right now. Next we have the 2470 2.8 from Canon, and then we have the 7200 2.8 from Canon as well. Now the reason we have these three lenses is to cover the wide range of focal length, so from all the way from 16 to 200, depending on what we're shooting. It's nice to have all of these in our camera bag for the versatility, so we can always switch between lenses depending on what shot we want to get. Now obviously all of these lenses have variable focal lengths, and the reason we do that is because it allows us to have versatility depending on what we're shooting. So if you're getting into videography and you're trying to upgrade your lenses, these are great three choices for lenses because it gives you the ability to get a wide range of different shots depending on what you're shooting. And for all of these lenses, we have our next camera gear essential, which is filters. So all three lenses have UV filters. We put them on order as soon as we order the lens. UV filters are great to protect the lens because it's much cheaper to replace like a $20 to $100 UV filter versus having to have your glass repaired on your lens. What we also have is circular polarizers and ND filters for every lens that we have in our bag. Now these filters have different purposes. So the polarizer we use primarily for our automotive clients to get rid of all the reflections, and for the neutral density filters, when it's a bright sunny day and you can't play with the shutter speed when you're filming video, you put one of these bad boys on to darken the shot and not sacrifice that creamy delicious bokeh. Next up, storage. So for the Blackmagics, we use the Samsung T5 SSDs. And then for the Canons, we have this nifty little storage case thing. And we have a wide range of cards in here. So we have the CF, we have the micro SDs, we have the SDs, depending on what we use on that day. Next up, we got the monitor. So we use the Atomos Ninja V5. This is really beneficial on those bright sunny days because the display is really, really bright. It's crispy, it's clear, it's very nice. We use this for when we're shooting with the shoulder rig or when we're shooting with the Ronin. Sometimes we have a first AC on set, so we use this for focus pulling as well. Now, obviously all tech runs on batteries, so you gotta have some batteries. Yeah, we like to make sure that we have a little bit more than a few batteries. Probably like a lot of batteries, just so you never run out. Like a lot of batteries. Especially when you're shooting with Blackmagics, you need like a lot of batteries. Do you have any more? And even this is not enough sometimes. All right, now let's jump into audio. So first and foremost, we got the Rode NT-G5, the big bad boy that we film more controlled scenarios like this. Unless you have a boom operator, you can use that on set as well. It sounds very crispy, we love it. All right, moving on. So What else we got in here? We got a pair of the Rode wireless Go mics. We switched to these from the Sennheiser lav mics that we had for a couple of reasons. First of all, you can control the dB level. Second of all, they have a nifty little LED screen that tells you the battery life, the connectivity, the levels of the mic that you have on your subject. Another thing also is they actually have a hot shoe mount built in. So this is actually a clip and a hot shoe mount, which is fantastic design. We love these little things. And these we use more for those run and gun setups, those kind of walking shots, interview shots where there's lots of movement, or when we don't have a boom operator on set. These are fantastic. Next up, from the receivers and transmitters, we got the lav mics. So we went with the Power DY's lav mics. So we did quite a bit of research. So these are like around 30 bucks Canadian. And we've listened to a lot of YouTube comparisons, and they compare to $150 plus mics. So we got 2 of each, 2 sets of the Rode receivers and transmitters, and we got 2 of the lav mics because oftentimes we have 2 subjects in one shot. All right, next up we got the Rode VideoMic Go. We just use this for vlogs or behind the scenes footage. Next up we got the audio recorders. So first we got the Zoom H4n Pro. We use this when we got a boom op on the set or when we're getting some sound effects to increase the production value of our videos. We got the backup little guy, which is the Zoom H1. The H1 is also great for backup audio. So even if you're using a boom, it's always good to have backup audio in case something disconnects or something happens. You always have backup, which is what this is great for too. So with all this quality audio gear, it's no use if it doesn't sound good, obviously. So next up is audio monitoring. So next up we got the Sennheiser closed back over-ear headphones. Now the reason you want these on set is to be able to not hear anything that goes outside of what you hear in these headphones, to be able to monitor audio very closely, make sure everything sounds crispy, there's no background audio, etc., etc. These are fantastic. Now for small productions or when we're shooting with our construction clients where hard hats are required and we can't fit these bad boys over the hard hats, we use simple Apple in-ear headphones. Those are good enough for monitoring audio in those scenarios. All right, now let's jump into lighting, which is equally as important as great sound in any video. So we're using a set of Godox SL60Ws. They're absolutely incredible for the price. Nothing competes. We love them. And they're actually diffused through some Neewer softboxes. This is a great budget-friendly setup for great output. It's pretty much what we need right now. And if we ever need more light than this, we just rent it at the local gear shop. Now up next, we got a pair of these GVM RGB lights that we use to add a little bit of color to our videos. Now, what does GVM stand for, you may ask? Well, it stands for Great Video Maker, and you can't make this up. It's literally what it stands for. And since we consider ourselves great video makers, we aligned with this brand and figured we'd support them. Now, all jokes aside, of course, these are budget friendly. They're not very professional, but they do their trick. They add color to our videos, and that's all we need from them. Eventually, obviously, we'll upgrade to something different. And as I said, if we have bigger productions, we just go to our local rental gear shop. All right, next up in the lighting category, we got the 5-in-1 Neewer Reflector and Diffuser. Okay, so anyway, so this thing is a great reflector. It's 5-in-1, which means that there's a white side, there's a gold side. You can also undress it, and there's a diffusing side right in the middle, and there's a silver side, and there's a black side. So this is a fantastic tool to bring, whether you need to block sunlight or you need to add light to a subject. This is great. And it's actually a really good bang for a buck. I think it's like 50 bucks Canadian on Amazon, so definitely need one of these in your essential kit. Now, before we jump into camera stabilization equipment to get those smooth shots, we gotta mention these little accessories that we cannot go to set without. Now, first and foremost, we got the lens pen. Now, I'm sure many of you already have these in your bags, but it's still worth mentioning. Next up, we got a Sharpie. It could be any sort of writing tool, pen, pencil, whatever it is, in case you need to make changes in your shot list or mark anything. Now, next up, we got the multi-tool made by Small Rig. It's actually meant for videographers and photographers. It got a wide range of tools that you may need on set. This is very handy. Now, next up is a teleprompter, which we use on set when the subject needs to read a script for any sort of video that we film. Now, it is a little small, so we would recommend a bigger one if you're deciding to invest in a teleprompter. All right, let's talk stability. This bad boy, as long as you hold your breath, very stable. This is the Magia gun case, and wait till you see what we have inside. I'm just playing. We got our slider in here. This is the Edelkrone. What's it called?
Are you on your phone?
I'm trying to find what it's called. Yes, I'm on my phone. Now in here we have the Edelkrone Slider Plus V5 Pro and the Head Plus from Edelkrone as well. Now you may ask why we use the gun case to carry our Edelkrone slider. Well, because this is a very clever way to go around spending many hundreds of dollars on an equivalent Pelican, which was actually about 4 times the price of this thing. So pro tip right there. We love this thing. It steps up our B-roll like tenfold. It is pretty pricey, but it's a very worthy investment, and I'm definitely not having any buyer's remorse about it. Speaking of stabilization, these are other tools that we use for that. So starting off with the Ronin-s, it's our trusted gimbal we've been using for a while. It's great for those run and gun shoots, as well as our real estate clients. And when you don't have time to set up the slider for every single shot, we use this guy. All right, next up, we got our carbon fiber tripod. This is honestly incredible technology and innovation coming to real life. The reason I say that is because once we got the slider, we tried to use it on our current Manfrotto tripods, and they were not very stable, to say the least. Then we started researching, and we found a couple tripods from Manfrotto because we love the brand, and they were over $1,000 Canadian. So then we're like, okay, we could spend that money, but let's just do a little bit of extra research. And we found this guy, carbon fiber bowl tripod. Innorel RT-90C heavy duty bowl tripod with 75mm bowl and bowl adapter, 40mm leg tube, ultra stable professional camera, tripod max load, 88 pounds camera stand. It's freaking amazing. So it's very stable, it can hold a lot of load. Definitely highly recommended. It's like $440 Canadian. You can't go wrong. Lastly, we got the Franken shoulder rig that's built from a bunch of different parts from Small Rig and Neewer and etc. This is fantastic for that like natural shake on camera. We love this thing, so we're gonna actually invest in a second one once our new Blackmagic comes in. Definitely recommend it. And this setup was probably around 500 bucks. Not that bad. All right, so that wraps up our list of camera bag essentials in 2021. Let us know if you missed anything, if there's any items we should add to our always changing list of essentials in the comments below. Thank you for watching. Make sure to subscribe and follow us on Instagram at Prolex Media, and we'll see you next time.